It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, all of you, for being here, for taking your time to hear this. Um, as you know, my English is not my mother language, so if you don't understand what I am trying to express, just stop me and try to express it in another way. So, dental decoding. Dental decoding is it talks about finding the hidden code in teeth, because our teeth holds the symbology of the archetypes in all that matters to relationships. Relational archetypes, we call them. There are 32 relation archetypes, and that's why we have 32 teeth. Our mouth is where everything that is important, that is vital for you, comes into you. You can eat, you can drink, you can breathe through your mouth, but through your mouth you also can express who you are. That's why our brain also puts symbology in this nutrition and in this expression. We nutrate about the psycho-emotionality that is around us, and we express our truth, who we are, through our speaking. Teeth are in middle of this this flux, and that's why our brain puts some emotional symbology there. Our teeth are reactive to everything that holds this kind of vibration. Why we say vibration? Because our teeth have a piezoelectricity capacity, so they can transform vibration, pressure, into electricity that goes through the nerve into our brain. And it can go through the amygdala, it can go to the limbic system, it goes into many parts of our brain through our trigeminal nervus, and it will be modulated into a special part inside of us. So now we have evidence that you will have in the formation that what is that happens with this energy that goes through each tooth. For example, a baby, a 3-month baby who is breastfeeding from his mother is a unity with the mother. It's a unity breastfeeding with the mother. But when he gets 6 months old, the first 2 milk teeth comes into the mouth. Those milk teeth hurt the mother breast. And this is the first moment where the mother puts a limit between herself and the baby. It's the first moment where the baby notices that this thing that is the mother is a separate thing from him. It's the first moment of consciousness that the mother is a different thing. So that's why those 2 front teeth in the lower jaw in a baby means the presence of mother. And of course, we can decode what happens when a baby borns with those teeth, or what happens when the teeth takes longer to come into the mouth. The same process happens with adult teeth. Each tooth comes into your mouth when you are processing a part of your relationships. That's why each tooth has this symbology, keeps that archetype. Then we can read in people's mouth what happens with the psychology of that person. And we also can read what happened with the ancestors, because our ancestors gives us tips in how to behave in our relational aspect with others through the position, and everything that happens in our mouth. As a dentist, I can tell that we can take care of many things in our mouth, but when you have this consciousness, when you recognize what is happening, you can create new ways of dealing with problems in your mouth. The same thing happens, for example, with cavities. Why do we have a cavity? Why do we have this hole in a tooth? This is because in order to have a cavity, you need bacteria, you need sweat, but you also need the depolarization of the crystal enamel, of the hydroxyapatite crystals. The teeth is made of hydroxyapatite crystal. It's like quartz. When you have a depolarization, and you should remember that this depolarization is made because of an order that your brain gives. It changes the polarity of that crystal, and that crystal now is weakened, and it can create the cavity that the bacteria and that it's being nutrited by the sweat can create this hole. This hole is because your brain needs to protect itself from the electricity that this particular tooth is sending to your limbic system, to where you process emotional information. That's why we can read in the mouth of a person what is affecting that person. And when you decode that, when you recognize that thing, you can learn from that, and this cavity will never form again, and you can change many blockings you have in your life. We can see those blockings in panoramic X-ray in the mouth of a person. We can see where this person cannot go because of stress. We can read why you have a genetical missing tooth. That means that this tooth was never there. It's not formed. We can read why you have that infection. We can read what happens with our gums, with periodontal infections. Everything is connected also with our emotions, because the emotions changes the polarity of a specific part of teeth. For example, our brain can change the polarity of a particular part in the root of a tooth. Then this change of polarity can attract specific bacteria that will create periodontal infections. Of course, we need to go to the dentist. We need to do what the dentist say, but many times that is not enough. We need to understand that we need to change that polarity in order to have healthier teeth. But just repairing our teeth is not our objective. In my opinion, what is most important is to be conscious, to have that consciousness of what is blocking my life, what is happening inside of me that I cannot express, that I need my body to express. And our teeth gives us the exact information. It's very precise. Even with the different surfaces of teeth, we have every single cavity decoded. In our class, we give you the manual of the 187 possible cavities you may have, because each cavity in each particular space is telling us a particular case. For example, let's put an example. Tooth number 8, the upper right central incisor. This tooth is related to the father function. Why we say father function? Because father is a role, it's a function. It's not a specific person, because maybe a woman can have that function, that role, maybe another person. Hopefully, this role is made by the biological father, but many times we don't have that luck. So this tooth means the father function. But you have to remember that in psychology, we say that father, while you are a child, is somebody outside of you. You are learning, you are copying things from outside of you to put it inside of you. After the age of 12, we have the introjection of the father and the mother function. It means that those persons that were outside of you, now they are inside of you and they become parts of yourself. So, for example, father is somebody who guides us, is somebody who protects us, it's somebody who provides us, is somebody who gives us inspiration. Why we say inspiration? Because our brain thinks that we are 10,000 years ago and we need to go out from the cave and we need to go hunting. And in order to go hunting, I need a father who inspires me, who tells me how this hunting is going to be, where are we going to find those animals, and how are we going to hunt them. So I close my eyes, and when he's talking, I create that image inside of me. So that inspiration, which is a projection, is also father function, that now it's inside of me, it's interjected. So if my father function while I was a child was not protective, he never guided me, he never inspired me. When I try to find inspiration inside of me, I will never find it, because that guy that was outside now is inside of me, is interjected. The same thing is with mother function, which is tooth number 9, upper left central incisor in the symbology. So we can see through the position, through the rotation, through the health of those two teeth, how are you dealing with this interjected father or mother function. But think about this example. I'm going to share my my screen. Can I do that, Isabel?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I will show you this. Okay, just imagine that you have tooth number 8 with its root and tooth number 9 with its root. Upper right simultaneous incisor and upper left. Okay? So imagine that you have a cavity in this part of tooth number 8, in that particular space. This is father function. Remember that this tooth number 9 here is mother function. Okay? If I have this cavity, it means that in order to integrate the mother function with my father function, my father should change something. And we are not talking about the father outside. We are talking about the interjected father. That part of you where you can find guidance, where you can find self-protection, when you can find the abundance of the hunting, where you can find this inspiration. So it's going to be very different if you have this cavity in one side of the tooth or in other side of the tooth. It's very different information. A different information if you have a fracture, because a fracture it's a conflictual solution of a conflict. So we also have a fractures manual, all the different angles where you can have this fracture and what do they mean. And you may ask, but I fractured that teeth because I hit it. No, there's never a coincidence. There's never an accident. There's everything. It's a synchronology. There's always something synchronical that will take us to have the information we need. So in teeth, we can see many things. We can see the recognition conflicts, which are very important, because recognition is something you can live in two ways. You can have recognition through identity. For example, I can say, hello, Isabelle, how are you? And she says, oh, he knows my name, he's recognizing me. Okay? So this is recognition by identity. Or I may say, oh, Isabelle, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you did. Oh, he's recognizing me because of my merit. It's a different kind of recognition. Those two kinds of recognitions are magical moments we live close to our adolescence that will mark the rest of our lives. Because if I don't have the merit recognition, usually it's an observation of a father function, and I don't have the identity recognition that comes also from my father, then I'm gonna have trouble recognizing my own states, because I cannot recognize why I am mad, why I am sad, why I'm depressed. I'm having this problem of recognition. So if we want to look at recognition, we have to look at the lower first molars. Merit in the right side, identity in the left side. And what to do with recognition, because usually if we don't have this kind of recognition, it's very difficult to get out of problems that always comes into us. It's very important to understand that this electromagnetic dynamic that happens when we bite, that is transmit to our to our brain through the piezoelectricity, and then we'll give all the scientific investigations that holds this information. So with all the different abstracts, and you can go to look for them to find that what we are saying is truth, because we have the scientific evidence. Then you can arm this map to deal with your own conflicts, because you should be the first, because you need to know where are you in dealing with your own conflicts. And then you can be a dental decoding companion, because you don't need to be a dentist, but you can be a dental decoding companion, because you can complement the dental treatment with the psycho-emotionality, which is the other half that is missing. It's the other half that now in these days we need to offer an integrative treatment, not just the physical part. We need to deal as well with the sense of everything, with what's inside of us. These are very important when we understand when we have orthodontic problems, what happens with the position, with the impacted teeth. They are very important. They have very important transgenerational information. So everything is looking, it is talking about yourself. Everything is telling us very, very important information. And in this class that we are offering is the first time that we can give a formation that has the recognition of the university, of an entire country, and we are trying to enter in other countries. But when you finish this, you have your diploma by a university, which is something very good, because nowadays we need to share that what we are doing is something with evidence. It's something that you have a background that gives you the logic of what you are doing. So in my opinion, even if you are a dentist, if you are not a dentist, this is one of the fastest ways to get into the heart of a problem, of a conflict. And what we offer as a method is the high impact method in psychology, because we get very fast with the conflict. We have a method what to ask and what we can see in there, and what to give to a person. Usually we give a symbolic exercise to the person in order to heal that part of the unconscious. This healing should be through the information and through the emotion. Because why do we have emotions? Emotions evolve into the human system in order to give hierarchy to informations. We only remember things that had any emotional relevance for us. If it don't have emotional relevance, we usually don't remember it, because you only have two ways to remember things: by impact, or because it should have a lot of emotion, or through repetition. So everything that impacts our life through emotion are things that will keep with us, and those things that are stressful will keep living inside of us, in our subconscious, as alerts that are there to tell us not to go there. And many times those alerts comes from our transgenerational tree. And they are useless nowadays, but we are still blocked because of that. With dental decoding, we can identify them and we can find exactly what to do with them. So when we do things without having consciousness of what you're doing, you are sending the conflict deeper in your subconscious. Let's use an example. For example, if we talk about lower central incisor in your right side, okay? Lower right central incisor. This particular teeth has the memories of your access to aggressiveness. We're not talking about violence, because violence is the bad application of aggressiveness. Aggressiveness is something we need to have. So many times we need to be aggressive to get what we want. Many times you have transgenerational information that in order to get what you want, you need to be more aggressive. So this particular tooth is in a buccal position. It's going forward. Many times you have the transgenerational information that we know exactly where is written in the DNA, that in order to be safe, you need to hide your aggressiveness. So imagine that a person who has this information and grow up with this information of hiding his aggressiveness, trying to be always a peaceful person and never share his energy to get things, through orthodontics, you obligate this teeth to come forward. It gives that person what we call the relational instinct of being more aggressive or more intense in order to get his goal. But this person is meant not to do that in that way. So the person will have this incoherence inside of it, because he or she feels that should be more aggressive, but something inside his heart says that he should not. So that incoherence creates a deeper conflict inside of a person. So if you want to do an orthodontic work, you need to recognize why you have this information of not being aggressive. Recognize it, give thanks to that experience, and create a new pattern. So now you can use your own energy, your own aggressiveness in a different and more creative way. That happens exactly with everything, with the wisdom tooth, extracted or not. Each one of them has different symbologies. For example, the wisdom tooth has information that we want to hide because they have our guilts. Another one has our shames, our sexual secrets, our ancestors' secrets in that aspect. Many times it gives us our relation with morality. So many times it's better to take it out and just forget about that. But if you don't have this connection that your teeth gives, you will start to live things in your life that will tend to compensate that. So, for example, if you don't recognize an abuse, Remember that abuse, you can have different kinds of abuse. You can have sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, economic abuse. Everything, it's abuse. If you had that experience about abuse and you hide it and you change things, for example, in your upper left canine, if you don't recognize it, you will start living in your life different situations that will face you through different kinds of abuse. And you don't know why I always live different kinds of abuse or different kinds of scarcity. There's very important that what we do with our body, do it consciously. Remember, father function is our psychological subconscious and mother function is our biological subconscious that we need to put together to be fully conscious about what we are dealing in our lives. Teeth are like gifts. When you understand to read what's written on teeth, you can do a lot of things for the person that is asking you for help. It's amazing.